So, thank you so much for trusting me and sending in your question and asking my advice and wanting to even know what I think about your life situation. So, I'll just recap really quick just to make sure that we have the same understanding of what you wrote to me. So, first thing I get from your message is that you are in a really toxic work environment. And you feel pigeonholed to the societal standards. You being a healer for at risk youth who have been through like severe trauma, youth who are homeless. I mean, people who really need deep healing. And so you feel like you can't voice your original voice at work. And that's what I understand. And also, you said that you feel like you're reminded of your trauma daily. Now, that's also adding to why you feel like, I don't know, maybe is that why you feel like the environment is toxic because you're being triggered every day? Like the stress of being triggered every day is just a lot. You feel like you're being grinded too much. Or you also mentioned that you feel kind of powerless. Like you want to just shake these kids, like you just want to wake them up. I've totally felt that before. I struggle with that, like, you know, with that, just wanting to just shake people. So you also mentioned that you feel violated at work, whether it be from the children that are coming there who are at risk or the youth violating each other. I also understand that you're aware of what it is that you need to be doing, which is like a lot of us. But you feel like there's somewhere like your will is not strong, right? Like you're not like there's a block maybe somewhere. Is that like you just feel like your will isn't being ignited? Like you don't feel that's what I understand. I think I covered the whole question. Now, as far as the one thing that really stood out to me was that you mentioned, like, I feel like the deepest pain here is that you feel that you don't have enough spiritual tools or like spiritual muscles to deal with this, like to refill your cup. You mentioned something about refilling your cup, like you just feel like you're not able to refill your cup. And I can totally relate to that, like on so many levels, and I'm sure a lot of people can. And so that's why finding, the root of, there's always a root, of why you feel the way that you do, why you feel so tired, why you feel so drained. There's a reason for all of this. And so my take, basically, I always go back to the principles of radical forgiveness. I've been kind of promoting that book for about a year and a half now, maybe a year. Not quite. It feels like a year and a half, but a year now because the tools that I gained was so powerful that I literally cured my bipolar. From that I cured all kinds of like dark, heavy, just torturous, painful, like trauma, like it just healed all of it. Like, you know, and even to this day when I talk about it, it still sounds crazy. Like it's like a whole weight was just lifted off of me. And so I use those principles and actually I wrote something down. I'm going to mention something from the book, and it pertains to you saying that you feel like you feel just like you can't express, maybe you have alternative ways of healing that maybe the establishment that you work for might not necessarily be for. I feel like that might be a part of the root cause of why you feel so exhausted and tired, like despite knowing that you're on your mission. That's important, like you're on your mission. So it's not like you're just like, oh God, I feel horrible, or I feel tired, or I just feel like my cup isn't full. The root cause of that is because you're in an environment where, although you're on your purpose, you're feeling this resistance because your throat chakra is being shut down. Anytime you're unresolved, whether it be pain, unresolved trauma, those things getting kicked up and not being healed are going to keep representing themselves over and over. And so it's like sort of like a blessing if you can see the connection of how you're in an environment where you're being triggered daily to deal with these things, to heal these things. It's like, it's almost literally like you can't run from it anymore, right? Like sometimes I feel that way too. It's like, dang, right? Like I can't run from this problem anymore. I have to deal with it. It's like you're being put in a pressure cooker. You're being put in this situation, right? So radical forgiveness says, whenever we become emotionally upset or traumatized, for instance, they reverse rotation, meaning your chakras reverse the natural flow of how they're supposed to go. So it's literally throwing you out of whack. You become erratic, and in some cases, your chakra may shut down, entirely. And a lot of anger and resentment and hurt will tend to close the heart chakra and throat chakra. So these imbalances will lead to lethargy, as they say, general malaise, and inability to speak your truth. So that's just a small excerpt of, one of the tools. Now, clearly we all need to work. We all need employment, but I'm going to get into that in a minute. I don't want to make this past 10 minutes, but I feel like if you, read Radical Forgiveness or check out some of the principles that I've learned, I actually have another YouTube video that I filmed about radical forgiveness tools curing my bipolar, and how powerful. And I still use the tools every day. It's not something that it's not like a book that you read. I have all kinds of notes in this book right now, like my mentor card, all kinds of notes. And I daily use the forgiveness. We have to keep our channels clear. The trauma is not fun. It's not easy. Like I said, I'm not perfect. My mission is helping people overcome things that I've already, overcome. I'm never out here talking about anything that I have not experienced or have not reached some level of deep completion with. So you also mentioned feeling violated. Radical forgiveness is really big on this, actually, and it was something that really helped me a lot because, I felt violated a lot, almost to the point where it made me depressed. To the point where how people treated me was causing me, that was my reason for being suicidal or deeply depressed, not necessarily suicidal, but like it kicks it up. So that is a very real thing. Like that's dealing with that, feeling violated is that's a heavy thing for a lot of us to deal with and to get over, or to kind of try to break out of and get some new tools to be more powerful in situations where we feel like people are just, violating us or disrespecting us, treating us in crazy ways. And we can even take this as far as like, I feel violated by things that I see in society, right? I feel there are things, but radical forgiveness helped me recontextualize the whole thing, like just how I see my trauma, how I see others' trauma, because, seeing other people in pain used to put me in severe pain. Before I got the tools to protect myself as a highly empathic, highly sensitive person, that was key for my sanity and well being. You are a healer, so you totally understand what I'm saying. And that's why you're seeking the tools now to keep your vibration high so that you can be on your mission, and feel enthusiastic and feel like I'm living the life that I want to live. I'm speaking my truth. And as far as like alternative ways to make money with your healing expertise, we will definitely talk about that. And I'll definitely be making more videos about that separately, though. So that's all I have to say. I definitely feel you. I'm going to also probably attach some links or, you know, thanks. And I hope that this was helpful in some way. I know that all of us are, I work too. I know how it is. And basically, how I deal with environments that are intense, highly negative, is I constantly integrate my principles of what I stand for in life and radiate that. I just keep my principles in alignment no matter what's happening around me. I'm keeping my principles in alignment. So that's that. And you be well. And if you have any more questions, please send them. And I only respond to things, again, like I said, that I have completion with, things that I feel like I can actually share some kind of value. And please share with me. We're all here learning. So thanks and have a good night.